A question. Do you know how much money global banks keep locked away in vaults? Money they can't touch, invest, or lend, just for a what-if scenario? We are talking about a massive clog in the financial pipelines we use every single day. Today, we're diving deep into the massive financial experiments led by the Bank for International Settlements, or BIS, specifically Project Mariana and Project Rialto. We're going to analyze why these massive institutional moves align almost perfectly with the technical vision Ripple has been preaching for the last decade. This isn't just about buying a coin, it's about a total overhaul of how value moves around the planet. Let's get into it. First, we need to understand the root of the problem. The system we currently use to send money across borders is like plumbing from the 1970s. It's old, it's rusty, and it leaks value. The biggest issue here is something called pre-funded liquidity. Let me break this down with a real-life example. Imagine you're planning a trip to 10 different countries. But here's the catch. You can't exchange currency when you land. Instead, you have to mail $10,000 in cash to a hotel in each country weeks before you even leave your house. Whether you spend that money or not, that $100,000 is effectively dead. It's sitting in a hotel safe earning zero interest, doing absolutely nothing for you. That is the reality of the banking world today. They call these Nostro Accounts. According to data from global heavyweights like McKinsey, the amount of idle liquidity trapped in these accounts is estimated between 4 to 5 trillion US dollars. Now, some people confuse this with the total payment flow, but even at 5 trillion, we're talking about an astronomical amount of capital. This is money that could be powering the economy, but instead, it's just paying for expensive parking. Unlocking this capital is the #1 problem the global financial system is trying to solve right now. Enter the BIS, often called the central bank of central banks. The BIS stepped in with Project Mariana. The game changer here is the automation of foreign exchange, or FX markets. In the old days, swapping dollars for euros required human brokers and dealers. Project Mariana replaced them with automated market makers, or AMMs. Think of an AMM like a transparent vending machine where the staff has been replaced by an algorithm. You put in dollars, the math kicks in, and it spits out euros instantly. It never sleeps, it runs 24/7, and it uses liquidity pools to settle trades immediately. Here is where it gets interesting. This approach mirrors Ripple's XLS30 standard almost exactly. Back in 2022, Ripple proposed integrating AMMs directly into the ledger to revolutionize institutional liquidity. The BIS didn't just copy-paste, but they looked at DeFi protocols like Curve v2 and built a hybrid model. This proves that the biggest institutions and blockchain innovators are converging on the same solution. They both realize that AMMs are the future of moving money efficiently. Now, let's talk about the second piece of the puzzle, Project Rialto and the concept of bridge assets. Project Rialto is all about instant cross-border payments. Imagine you want to fly from Nashville, Tennessee to a tiny village in Norway. There are no direct flights. You have to route through a massive hub like Heathrow or Frankfurt. In finance, this hub is a bridge asset. If you want to send Thai baht to Mexican pesos, doing a direct swap is incredibly expensive because there's no volume. You need a middleman currency. Project Rialto tested using CBDCs and bridge assets to fix this, which is the exact economic logic behind Ripple's on-demand liquidity, or ODL. Ripple uses XRP as that bridge to settle transactions in 3 seconds. They eliminate the need for that hotel money we talked about earlier. Instead of pre-funding, you fund on demand. The BIS research basically stamped valid on the model Ripple has been building for years. But it's not just theory. Ripple is actually sitting at the table. The BIS runs the Payments Interoperability and Extension, or PIE, task force. This is where the standards for global payments are written. Sitting right next to SWIFT and MasterCard is Ripple. This is a critical fact. Ripple isn't just a crypto company, they are recognized as a core infrastructure provider. While other fintechs are there, very few can provide actual data from running ODL corridors across dozens of countries like Ripple can. That is their competitive moat. Now, looking at the landscape here in February 2026, the game has changed. After the dust settled on the U.S. regulatory battles, the focus shifted entirely to utility. Projects in Palau, Bhutan, and Montenegro have moved from pilot phases to real discussions about national infrastructure. The BIS projects, Mariana and Rialto, proved that blockchain isn't a rebellious experiment anymore. It is the necessary upgrade kit for the global economy. The fact that their blueprints match Ripple's vision tells us everything we need to know. We are witnessing the liberation of $5 trillion in trapped capital and the shift from 3-day transfers to 3-second settlements. This isn't science fiction, it's an infrastructure swap happening in the background right now. The banks aren't fighting it anymore, they're adopting it. That's the reality of the money flow in 2026. Thanks for watching Coinblah. Keep your eyes on the plumbing because that's where the real value is flowing. See you in the next one.